অনিমেষ অনিমেষ স্টার্ট কর।
Yes. Audible now? Hello. Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Hello and good afternoon. Welcome all. Welcome to today's event, celebration of Earth Day, organized by IQAC, Eco Club, and Literary Society of Kekedash College, Kolkata. We are very fortunate to have here today with us our resource person, Dr. Prabir Dastidar, our Honorable Principal, Dr. Ramkrishna Prasad Chakraborty, IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Nasima Munsi, conveners of Literary Society, conveners of Eco Club, my colleagues, and my dear students. Now, I'll start today's program with a question. The question is why they're here. The answer, as one might apprehend, would be long and complicated. So rather, I'll quote some words of Greta Thunberg. We all know Greta Thunberg, the famous teenager, social and environmental activist, whose 3-minute speech at UN Climate Action Summit in 2019 took the world in storm. I'm just quoting a few lines from her. In a speech, she said, "My message is that we'll be watching you. This is all wrong. I shouldn't have feared. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you come all to us. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystem are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you? For more than 30 years, the science has been crystal clear. How dare you continue to look away and come here saying that you are doing enough, when the politics and solution needed are still nowhere inside. Then finally, she concluded like this: how dare you pretend that this can be solved with just quote unquote business as usual and some technical solutions? With today's emissions level, the remaining CO2 budget will be entirely gone within less than 8.5 years. There will not be any solutions or plans presented in lines with these figures here today, because these numbers are too uncomfortable. And you are still not mature enough to tell it like it is. You are failing us. But the young people are starting to understand your betrayal. The eyes of all future generations are upon you. And if you choose to fail us, I say we'll never forgive you. We will not let you get away with this. Right here, right now is where we draw the line. The world is waking up and change is coming whether you like it or not. Thank you. So this was the very strong words of Greta Thunberg and raised some very hard-boiled question to us, asking for a very grassroots and fundamental changes, particularly on political and governmental level. So today we are here for not only to learn, to discuss, but to determine ourselves to save our Mother Earth, to protect the future generation. And Kekedash College has been taking a lot of initiative in securing such steps. And this program is one of the part of that. I would like to gladly announce in this connection that apart from this lecture, we have successfully conducted an inter-college essay competition, and almost 52 essays of various colleges have been submitted, and their result will be declared as soon as possible. So with this note, with this hope, now I'd like to request our principal sir to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Animesh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. আজ এখানে আগত এই অতিমারী পরিস্থিতিতে গুগল মিটের মাধ্যমে সম্মিলিত হওয়া প্রত্যেককে আমি আমার কলেজের তরফ থেকে ওয়েলকাম জানাই। ডক্টর প্রফেসর প্রবীর কুমার ঘোষ দস্তিদার আজ আমাদের মধ্যে উপস্থিত হয়েছেন। একজন সিনিয়র সায়েন্টিস্ট শুধু নয়, তিনি ছিলেন অ্যাডভাইসার ইন দ্য মিনিস্ট্রি অফ আর্থ সায়েন্স, গভর্নমেন্ট অফ ইন্ডিয়া। আজকে মুগ্ধ হয়ে ওনার কথাই আমরা শুনবো অ্যান্টার্কটিকার উপর যে কথা বলবো। আজকে এই বিশেষ দিনটা আমরা পালন করে আসছি রাদার গোটা বিশ্বে 1970 সাল থেকে। কেন সে বিষয়ে কিছুটা আলোকপাত অনিমেষ করেছে যে আমাদের এই সুন্দর পৃথিবীকে রক্ষা করার দায়িত্ব আমাদের। আমি ধন্যবাদ এবং কৃতজ্ঞতা জানাই আমার লিটারারি সোসাইটিকে এবং ইকো ক্লাবকে, যারা এই বিষয়ের উপর একটা এসে কম্পিটিশনের আয়োজন করেছিল। বিভিন্ন কলেজ থেকে এই ছেলেমেয়েরা, বিভিন্ন কলেজের স্টুডেন্ট, তারা লেখা জমা দিয়েছে। আমি জানতে পারলাম যে 52টা লেখা এসছে খুব অল্প সময়ের মধ্যে। এই আমাদের কর্তব্য কি? আমরা কি শুধু পালনের মধ্যে সীমাবদ্ধ থাকবো না, আমরা সচেতন হব আমাদের দায়িত্ব কর্তব্যের উপর। আমি আইকিউএসি কে ধন্যবাদ জানাবো এইরকম একটা উদ্যোগ নেওয়ার জন্য, লিটারারি সোসাইটি এবং ইকো ক্লাবকে একত্রিত করে, এবং প্রবীর বাবুর মতন একজন প্রাজ্ঞ এক্সপিরিয়েন্সড মানুষকে আমাদের সামনে উপস্থিত করার জন্য। আজকে ভাষণের আমাদের দিন নয়, আজকে অভিজ্ঞতা প্রবীর বাবুর কাছ থেকে আমরা শুনব। এবং আমি অনুরোধ জানাবো যারা এখানে উপস্থিত আছেন অথবা ইউটিউব চ্যানেল যারা দেখছেন, সেখানে প্লিজ চ্যাট বক্সে তাদের নাম এবং কোন প্রতিষ্ঠান থেকে এসছেন সেইটা লিখে দেওয়া, অর্থাৎ স্টুডেন্ট না টিচার। তাহলে আমাদের কাছে একটা তথ্য থাকবে যে আমরা কাদের কাছে রিচ করতে পেরেছি। প্রতি বছর আমরা এই আর্থ ডে বা বিশেষ দিনগুলোকে পালন করি, তার প্রত্যেকটার পেছনে কিছু কারণ থাকে। সেই কারণটা অবহিত করার চেষ্টা করি আমাদের ছাত্রদের কাছে এবং আমাদের নিশ্চয়ই শিক্ষক মশাইদের এবং অন্যান্য যারা আমাদের এখানে যুক্ত হন তাদেরকে। আমার কথা দীর্ঘায়িত করব না, আমি সকলকে আমার অন্তর থেকে আবার ওয়েলকাম জানাই এবং বিশেষ করে শ্রদ্ধা জ্ঞাপন করি প্রবীর বাবুকে আজকে আমাদের এখানে রিসোর্স পার্সন হিসাবে উপস্থিত হওয়ার জন্য। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ।
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable words that would certainly encourage us in our future endeavors. Now, I'd like to request our TCS and Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Mr. Sukumar Sadhuka, for delivering his brief introduction of Earth Day. Over to you, Sukumar, please.
Hello, thank you, Animesh. শুনতে পাচ্ছ?
হ্যাঁ।
শ্রদ্ধেয় অধ্যক্ষ মহাশয়, আমাদের রিসোর্স পার্সন প্রবীর ঘোষ দস্তিদার বাবু এবং আইকিউএসি, ইকো ক্লাব, লিটার সোসাইটি এবং আমার সহকর্মীবৃন্দ এবং আমার স্নেহের ছাত্রদেরবৃন্দ, আজ আমরা সকলে উপস্থিত হয়েছি অতিমারির মধ্যেও পৃথিবীকে বাঁচিয়ে রাখার জন্য আমাদের স্বার্থে। সেই নিয়েই আজকের আলোচনা। আর্থ ডে হিসাবে 1970 সাল থেকে পৃথিবীর এখন পর্যন্ত 192খানা দেশ পালন করছে। কিভাবে আমাদের ভবিষ্যৎ প্রজন্মকে আমরা বাঁচিয়ে রাখবো, সেই ভবিষ্যৎ প্রজন্মকে বাঁচিয়ে রাখতে গেলে আমাদের কি করণীয়, সেই বিষয়ে আমরা সবসময় আলোচনা করছি এবং সকলের মধ্যে সচেতনতা বৃদ্ধি করার চেষ্টা করছি। এই বিষয়ে আমার বেশি কিছু বলার নেই। সভ্যতার আদিম যুগ থেকে যখন মানুষ বা প্রাণী এই পৃথিবীতে বসবাস শুরু করেছে, সৌরজগতের অনেকগুলো গ্রহের মধ্যে কেবলমাত্র পৃথিবীতেই প্রাণের আভাস পাওয়া গেছে এখন পর্যন্ত। সেই পৃথিবীতেই আমরা লালন পালন হচ্ছি। আমাদের বেঁচে থাকা, আমাদের উন্নয়ন, আমাদের ডেভেলপমেন্ট এবং আমাদের ভবিষ্যৎ প্রজন্মকে আরো উচ্চতায় পৌঁছে নেওয়ার জন্য যা কিছু রসদ, সবকিছু আমরা এই পৃথিবীর বুক থেকে পেয়েছি। গীতায় বলেছে, তুমি যা পেয়েছো এখান থেকে পেয়েছো, যা যাবে সবকিছু এখানেই দিয়ে যাবে। তাই আমার ভবিষ্যৎ প্রজন্মের জন্য আমি এমন কিছু দিয়ে যাব যাতে ভবিষ্যৎ প্রজন্ম আরো ভালোভাবে এই পৃথিবীতে বসবাস করতে পারে, বাঁচতে পারে, আরো উন্নত হতে পারে। সভ্যতার যত উন্নয়ন হয়েছে, যত সভ্যতা উন্নয়নের দিকে এগিয়েছে, ডেভেলপ হয়েছে, আস্তে আস্তে আমাদের প্রকৃতির সঙ্গে নিবিড় সম্পর্কের ছেদ করতে শুরু করেছে। সভ্যতার উন্নয়নের সাথে সাথে আমাদের শিল্পায়ন শুরু হয়েছে। সেই শিল্পায়নের সঙ্গে সঙ্গে আমরা অনেক সুফল ভোগ করছি, যার সুফল এখন এই অতিবাণীর মধ্যে বসেও আমরা ঘরে বসে এরকম একটা আলোচনা সভা শুরু করতে পেরেছি বা করতে পারছি। কিন্তু তার সঙ্গে সঙ্গে এই শিল্পায়নের যে কুফল, যে সমস্যাগুলো, সেগুলো কিন্তু আমাদের এই মানব প্রজাতিকে বা মানব সমাজকে কিন্তু প্রতি মুহূর্তে আঘাত দিচ্ছে। প্রকৃতির বিরুদ্ধে, প্রকৃতির নিয়মের বিরুদ্ধে গিয়ে যখন আমরা কোনো কিছু উন্নয়ন বা সামঞ্জস্য করার চেষ্টা করছি, প্রকৃতির ভারসাম্য নষ্ট হচ্ছে এবং প্রকৃতি আমাদের উপর তার প্রতিশোধ তুলে নিচ্ছে। শিল্পায়নের সঙ্গে সঙ্গে হয়েছে আমাদের বিশ্বায়ন। বিশ্বায়ন যত বেশি বেড়েছে, তার সঙ্গে হয়েছে আমাদের পৃথিবীর উষ্ণায়ন। পৃথিবীর উষ্ণায়ন আসছে কোথা থেকে? আমাদের শিল্পায়নের জন্য। শিল্পে যেমন সুফল আছে, তার কুফলটা আছে। সেই কুফলের ফলে পরিবেশের ভারসাম্য আমাদের নষ্ট হচ্ছে। এই পরিবেশের ভারসাম্য নষ্ট হওয়ার ফলে আমাদের ভবিষ্যৎ প্রজন্ম শিকড় হচ্ছে না, তারা ভালোভাবে বাঁচতে পারবে কি থাকবে না। যেমন একটা অতিমারির যে আমরা এখন সকলেই ফেস করছি, সকলেই আমরা অতিমারির ভয়ে ভয়ে বাইরের মধ্যে রয়েছি। এটা কিন্তু আমাদের মনে হয় শিল্পায়ন বা পৃথিবীর যে নেচারের ল, তার একটা ভারসাম্যহীনতার জন্য এই জিনিসগুলো ঘটছে। যে ইকোসিস্টেমটা রয়েছে পৃথিবীর মধ্যে বা নেচারের যে ইকোসিস্টেম, সেটা কোথাও যেন একটা বাধাপ্রাপ্ত হচ্ছে বা ধ্বংস হচ্ছে। আমরা বর্তমান প্রজন্ম যারা এখন রয়েছি, আমাদের রাষ্ট্র নেতারা রয়েছেন, পরিবেশবিদ রয়েছেন, বিজ্ঞানী রয়েছেন, সমাজ সচেতন মানুষ রয়েছেন, তারা প্রত্যেকেই চাইছেন এই বসুন্ধরা বা ধরিত্রীকে আমরা এমন একটা জায়গা পৌঁছে রাখবো, এমন ভাবে গড়ে তুলবো বা রাখবো, আমাদের কার্যকলাপটা সেই জায়গায় থাকবে যাতে ভবিষ্যৎ প্রজন্ম সুস্থ স্বাভাবিকভাবে জীবনযাপন করতে পারবে এবং আমাদের ভবিষ্যৎটা আরো বেশি উন্নয়ন বা উন্নতি হবে। সেই জন্য আমরা সবাই মিট করছি। পৃথিবীর প্রায় 192খানা দেশ এই বিষয়ে আলোচনা করছে, আমরা আলোচনা করছি, মানুষের মধ্যে সচেতনতা বৃদ্ধির চেষ্টা করা হচ্ছে। এবং এই বছরের থিম যেটা দিয়েছে সেখানে রেস্টোর দ্য আর্থ, সেখানে হচ্ছে প্রকৃতির নিয়ম, প্রাকৃতিক সিস্টেম, যে নেচার সিস্টেম, সেটাকে রেস্টোর করা, রাখা। সবুজায়ন, যে টেকনোলজির কথা বলছি আমরা, গ্রিন টেকনোলজি, আমরা যে টেকনোলজিতে বসবাস করছি বা যে টেকনোলজি নিয়ে চলছি, সেখানেও আমাদের একটা সবুজের কথা বলা হচ্ছে এবং ইনোভেটিভ থিঙ্কিং, যেটা আমাদের রেস্টোর করবে আমাদের আর্থকে। আমি বেশি কিছু বলবো না, আমাদের যে রিসোর্স পার্সন আছেন তার কাছে আমরা অনেক কিছু কথা শুনবো, সেটা আমাদের স্যার বলেছেন, বিষ্ণু স্যার বলেছেন, অনিমেষ বলেছেন। আমি কবি সুকান্তের শেষ কটা লাইন, একটা কবিতার শেষ কটা লাইন আমার মনে হয় খুবই প্রাসঙ্গিক এই বিষয়ে, আমার মনে হয়েছে, তাই সেই কটা কথা বলে আমি আমার বক্তব্য এখানেই শেষ করব। কবি সুকান্ত ভট্টাচার্য 1949 সালে একটা কবিতা লিখেছিলেন, ছাড়পত্র কবিতা। তার 4টে লাইন আমি শুধু বলবো। চলে যাব তবু আজ যতক্ষণ দেহে আছে প্রাণ, প্রাণপণে পৃথিবীর সর্বজঞ্জাল এ বিশ্বকে বাসযোগ্য করে যাব আমি, নবজাতকের কাছে এ আমার দৃঢ় অঙ্গীকার। এই বলে আমি আমার বক্তব্য শেষ করছি। সকলকে অশেষ ধন্যবাদ। ওভার টু অনিমেষ।
Thank you, Shubhmadda, for your insightful words. And these words were such apt, and it certainly extend our next program. Now, allow me to introduce our honorable resource person today, Dr. Prabir Dastidar. Dr. Dastidar was a senior scientist and advisor in the Ministry of Earth Science of Government of India. He is having more than 2 decades of experience in science and technology management in the capacity as program directors of national and international programs like Polar Science, Research and Development, Establishment Knowledge, Research Center Network in MOES Institute, etc. He has deep interest in research analytics, science policy instruments in Antarctica, ocean science, and other subject specialties. He has pioneered global analysis of research landscape and modeling of Antarctica science research, which is recognized internationally. Today, he is going to deliver a lecture on Wonderland Antarctica, Indian Antarctica Science Program. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Can you see the screen?
No, sir.
Not yet, sir. Not yet.
না স্যার দেখা যাচ্ছে না।
How? Just a minute. Can you see now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now it is showing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me to present my experiences on Indian Polar Science Program, more especially on Antarctic Science Program, which India is, this program is going on in India from 1981. I'm delighted to share my experiences, and respected Dr. Chakraborty, Principal K.K. Das College, Dr. Bagh, Dr. Tikadar, Dr. Sadhu Khan, Madam. I consider, talking about Earth system as a whole is our responsibility now as a scientist and if you want to call us an intellectuals. In introduction, you have rightly said about the environmental conditions of the earth, particularly the importance we are feeling more and more considering the COVID situation, and which have taught us that environment is supreme. As an individual, whatever achievements we have got as a scientist or intellectuals or technologists, in front of nature, we are just nothing. And we have seen that last around 1.5 years, what is happening. It may be USA, Europe, China, everybody is on their toes. And it has again, made us think about the earth as an integrated system. And the concept of sustainability, obviously it comes when we discuss these global issues, that how the concept of sustainability can be integrated with the Earth system. You know, I talk about little bit about the background of Ministry of Earth Sciences, which was started in the year 1981, primarily to conduct Antarctica expeditions. And you'll be very happy to know that India is a consultative party in global Antarctic science management system. And consultative party means there are only 29 countries which who governs this Antarctic continent. And though there are some countries they have claim on this land of Antarctica, but the United Nations have made these claims are frozen, and it has been declared as a continent of science and peace. So while we are talking about the Earth as an integrated system, the research and development, particularly in Antarctica continent, is very, very important, because the global climate system is, the role of Antarctica in global climate system is huge. Now you let us see what is Antarctica in fact. In around 550 million years ago, the Earth, the shape of Earth, or the continents were not like as we see now. It used to be called as a Gondwana land. It was a collection of some plates. This is called Earth crust. They were all together, and collectively it used to be, it is called as a Gondwana land. And over the years, due to the drifting of the continental, this crust or tectonic plates, these plates have drifted apart, and one plate have gone to the southernmost part of the continent, and which is now called as Antarctica. It is surrounded by the circumpolar currents. That means if somebody wants to go to Antarctica by ship, you have to cross a couple of very extreme climatic conditions like furious 40s. There are the 50-degree latitude. These are very, the climatic conditions are very extreme. So the normal ships cannot go there. And one has to have the specially designed ice breaking capacity, ice class they call, we call ice class. There is another class is ice breakers. We don't take ice breakers. We take ice class ships. So it can break around 1 to 1.5 meter ice, so that it can go to the Antarctic, the continent. And this is the sequence of events. You can see that the bottom part of the globe, this Antarctica is lying. It is surrounded by circumpolar currents. And who controls Antarctica? It is controlled by Antarctica Treaty. There are, as I told you, there are countries, they have, they govern the Antarctic continent, and whatever happening in Antarctica, whatever research is happening in Antarctica, one has to take the consent of Antarctic Treaty consultative parties, and then there are clause, etc., etc. That has to be followed by everybody. So there are ethical issues, there are logistical issues. So everything is governed by this Antarctic Treaty consultative parties. And there is, for science, doing science in Antarctica, there is an Antarctic SCAR, a Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research. For logistics, there is COMNAP, Committee on Managers of National Antarctic Program. And there are 42 countries, they have acceded to this treaty. That means they have accepted these clauses, but they are not part of the consultative party system. There is only 29 countries they are controlling, or this administrative decisions are taken by this group. So India, we have two permanent stations. So, what is the need to have these permanent stations? There are some countries, they do research by sitting in the stations in some other countries, but India is maintaining two big stations. So what is the need? So to be a consultative party, the precondition is one has to show the substantial research in Antarctic science. That is the precondition. And another condition is that there has to be a station, permanent station, and the scientists have to be there round the year. So these are the conditions. You can understand that in the remote areas where there are, there are a couple of months, there will be no day. There are a couple of months, there will be no night. The climatic conditions are extreme. When the storms, start, it can go weeks and sometimes 10 days, 15 days, it will go uninterruptedly. So for doing research, it's not, these are all challenges that, because the climate is not good, favorable all the time. So whatever time we get, the climate is good, then one has to complete their research activities. And we have two stations, you can see. Here, we have Mithri stations. Mithri is an old station. It is 30 plus years now. And here we have Bharati Station. Bharati Stations is comparatively new stations. It is very good. We are, as an Indian, we are proud of this station. It is one of the best stations in Antarctica, equipped with all facilities, almost all facilities for doing research. So now in our ministry, this Antarctica program is clubbed under a polar science program, because the climate, as I told, that Ministry of Earth Sciences was formed by merging Department of Ocean Development with the India Meteorological Department and some other department in IITM, Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, and NCMRWF, Medium Range Weather Forecasting, because these institutes, they are doing work very close to, on environment and climate system is very much linked with ocean. So that is why the Ministry of Earth Sciences was formed. So we have, for polar science, we have primarily three programs now: Antarctic expeditions, Arctic expeditions, and Himalayan glaciers. Students and teachers and researchers, if you want to go to Antarctica or take part in these expeditions, there will be advertisements, and then you have to submit the proposals, and if you have to defend the proposals. If the proposals are accepted, then you will be allowed to go to Antarctica, and all expenditures, etc., are borne by Government of India. Antarctica is a unique continent in the sense that it is 98% of Antarctica continent is covered by ice sheet. The average thickness of ice sheet is 1.5 kilometers around. So, the average temperature will be like -8, -10, and then it can go up to -40, -50. And this is very extreme climate. In the winter in Antarctica, because water is frozen, then the size of Antarctica becomes huge, and it becomes double its size, which is we see during the summertime. So the expedition goes during the summertime. Summertime means in Antarctica, summer is from November to February or March. So during this time, one can go by ship, or even there is some so there are planes will fly, and whosoever wants to go there for doing research and all, they will go, either they will fly from South Africa to Mithri Station, and then from Mithri there's a special flights. It will take around 10 hours to go to Bharati Station, and by ship from Bharati Station to Mithri Station it takes around 10 days to reach there. Antarctica is full of, it is a wonderland. You can see the skies are sometimes brighten up, and because of geomagnetic activities, I will tell you a little bit detail about this, because some of the research which is possible in Antarctica, that is not possible in any other places on Earth. Because this auroras and all that, this Antarctica and is the southern part of the Earth, and Arctic is a northern part. So the magnetic, these are all magnetic poles, and there are some spaces available through which these magnetic particles from the other outer spaces will enter into the atmosphere, and they interact vigorously, and then you get huge colorful, suddenly it will become very colorful, the sky will become very colorful. So for geomagnetic studies, for some biological studies, for some atmosphere studies, even we launch satellites for receiving the images. There are stations, because this is a very pristine climate, and the disturbances are less, so the reception is better in Antarctica. You can see this is this much thickness of ice, and on the top of ice, these penguins are moving. You can see there are mountains which you can see only the top of the mountains are visible. The 90% of the mountains are beneath the ice. Antarctica is also famous for penguins, but you don't expect that you get penguins, get to see penguins everywhere. I have done some experiment, still I'm doing some experiments on awareness of penguins, their brain structures. So for that, from Bharati Station, one has to go by helicopter. It takes around 35 minutes to reach this land. It is called Wiener Island, and here there is a rookery of Adelie penguins. These Adelie penguins, and one has to go there to do research. And even for doing research on penguins, it's not that easy, because there are ethical issues, etc. They're very strongly, these rookeries are monitored, and so the project has to be approved, and then the clearance has to be obtained for doing research on penguins or some other aspects in Antarctica. How to reach Antarctica, I have told that one can go. In olden days, when we started this Antarctic expedition, they used to go from Goa. You used to take around a month to reach Antarctica, and a lot of money. And now what we are doing, we go up to South Africa by flight, and from South Africa, one group goes with logistics and the rations, provisions, oil, etc., by ship, and another group go by flight. For the scientists who will do projects will take around a month or 15 days or 20 days, they will go by flight, and they will come back by flight. This is our Mithri Station. This was the second station. In fact, the first station was, it is buried now, this was the second station, Mithri, and recently we have constructed the third station, that is Bharati. This is the Bharati Station. You can see these domes are satellite reception stations, and this is the station, Antarctic Station. This is covered by ice, and this picture was taken during summer, so the ocean is not frozen. There are ice caves, and these are the places one can do excellent research on microbiology, oceanography, atmosphere, etc. These ice caves, maybe this is in existence for millions of years. So our scientists go there, they take ice cores, and these ice cores are indications of paleoclimates, how the climatic system have changed over the years. And this ice cores, we have an excellent international level, international quality laboratory at Goa, this National Center for Antarctic and Ocean Research. These ice cores are kept there in minus 20 or minus 30 degrees, specially constructed. There is a room. These cores are kept there, and then somebody wants to do research on even palynology, microbiology, etc. One can go and take samples from them and to do research. And one has to have a special dress to go out. This is a 4 or 5 layer dress, and to protect themselves from the extreme temperature, etc. And you know, the biodiversity of Antarctica, the flora and fauna is not huge, but very unique. My colleague, he is holding, these are lichens, you know. So one team from Ahmedabad, they are doing research on lichens, and they are trying to monitor lichens by using satellite images. And there are special vehicles to work in Antarctica, and these are all huts. So if somebody wants to do research, you know, outside, you know, then one has to carry these huts, and it has to be placed in appropriate place, and scientists will stay there for some time to do research. This is all a special purpose vehicle. This I have already mentioned. This our scientists, they are collecting, you know, ice cores. This is in fact they are holding this ice core. As I told you, to understand the climatic system as a whole, as an integrated system, the ministry has clubbed together these 3 programs under one umbrella: the Polar Science Program, the Himalayan, you know, studies, Arctic and Antarctica, and together we are calling it as a Cryosphere Program, Polar Science Cryosphere Program. Some unique studies we have taken up. One is we are studying the social biology of penguins. This is, you know, the penguins, they are in this earth for the last around 60 plus millions years. So during that time, the 60 million years ago, that was the dinosaur era, and there is one theory that penguins have evolved from dinosaurs. And so we wanted to do the studies that how, what is the brain structure, and what is the reason they are so happy and they live together. They are the colonial species. So a lot of, you know, higher-end research on social biology, brain structure, etc. can be done. So we are doing some project in collaboration with All India Institute of Medical Sciences, IITs, Indian Brain Research Institute. The main purpose of this project is to see that in spite of having a primitive brain structure, their brain structure is not like human being. They don't have a prefrontal cortex. In spite of that, they live together. They have a very nice cooperative attitude. And in extreme environment, I will show you some little video very quickly, and you will see that to stay there, to live there, one has to have a give and take policy. One has to cooperate with his fellow penguin or fellow animal. Otherwise, it is very difficult to live in the extreme environment of Antarctica. So what is the structure of their mind? What is the structure of the social system? And how they communicate, etc. This will be, we are planning, in fact, to do this. Even we are planning to apply the game theory that what a social structure is more stable and how they are doing. These are all primitive environments. I will not go into detail. The penguins, they evolved this evolution, some slides. I got it from internet, and for you, you can see there are giant dinosaurs, and it seems one theory says that they evolved some, penguins are flightless birds. So in spite of having some structure but they have very strong ability to swim in water. They can go, they can dive. Their adaptability is very high level. So that is also one of the purpose of our studies. This is some colonies in Antarctic continent. These red dots, these are all Antarctic continents. You can see that penguins are not available everywhere. So we have done these studies in Binar Island. This island not very close to. It is rather close to Bharati Island. It takes around half an hour flight by helicopter to reach there. You can see that we are doing the studies self-awareness of penguins, and we are studying that when a mirror is put in front of them, how they react. So we have got some amazing result, we are interpreting that because they live together, they have an idea how their fellow beings look like. So when the mirror is put in front of them, they are thinking that this is myself, and say they want to explore more and more. So there are some video clippings in future. If some opportunity comes, I can share with you. We are writing a paper on this. This is the evolution of penguin brains. One little video I will show you. You can see that in extreme environment of Antarctica, the emperor penguins, the emperor penguins, they lay eggs during winter time, and it's very, very cold. So, they have a very strong cooperative attitude. And, you just see this very quickly. I can show you. So they form this kind of huddles. So you see how they are so disciplined, and so they form, the huddle, and so the outer layer of penguins, they go inside in a circular movement, and the inside penguins, they come out in a circular movement. So you can just imagine how disciplined and how systematic they are. So this is also one of subject of research we are doing in collaboration with one scientist of IIT Bombay to model that, in our life, we see that even we cannot manage 2-3 persons in one family sometimes. But here you can see there are hundreds of penguins in extreme environment, how they are so in a disciplined way, they are managing their life. See, this is because of this structure, these all penguins are not subjected to the extreme climate, harsh climate. The outside penguin will go inside and inside will come out. So their exposure to the extreme climate is minimum. So this is also this one research we are doing apart from other research like oceanography, other biological research like taxonomy and meteorological department have established a permanent station there. They monitor the climate, etc. around the year. So these are few the glimpses of Indian Antarctic Expedition Program for you. And if you have any question, you can ask me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. This was such an excellent lecture, sir, and I'm sure that our students have certainly benefited from this and get a lot of inspiration from you. Now the platform is completely now the platform is completely open to questions. So if you have any question, you can directly ask us or just drop your query in the chat box. Anyone has any question, please?
If you have any specific question, you can send me an email also.
I think
yeah, they can send me the questions if they have. But I will request the students, researchers, and the teachers also that you should submit good projects to for this international program. And the India is aspiring to be a knowledge leader, and our scientific output is now second in the world. So it means that we are publishing a lot of papers, and the papers are not possible unless somebody is doing some good work. So I request everybody who are present here, you should formulate good projects and submit to National Center for Antarctic and Polar Research. You can go to their site. They are also looking for good projects because we want to, rather India wants to establish as a knowledge leader in the world. So unless you participate in this program wholeheartedly with unique projects, it cannot go, it cannot achieve our dream.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Madam.
Yes.
Yes, madam.
Am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Yes, Shashidi, please.
Sir, thank you for your wonderful presentation. My just one question: how they protect their babies, newborn babies, from this extreme climate?
Yeah, I showed you. No, I showed you this video. Acha, they have a pouch and they will put their babies in that.
Right.
I have some photographs, but may not be able to show you. But their motherhood is excellent. Their life revolves around their kids. They will go. I have some videos. They will go to the ocean to get food for the kids, and the kids will wait for them, the mother, to come. and they will keep the food in their throat, and then they come. It is around, let's say, 1 kilometer from top of the rookery to the ocean is around 1 kilometer. So they go, they come back, and they have a very strong supportive system, yeah, it is like this. I tell you, the strategies to support their kids, not uniform. The video which I showed you, that is for emperor penguins. So they live in extreme. They like to live in extreme cold conditions. But ideally penguins during summer means November to February, you get, we have got, ideally penguin, the rookery, we had gone there, a lot of penguins were there, but we did not get a single emperor penguin.
Okay.
I asked somebody, they were saying even the minus 8 degree also is not enough for them. They want more cold. So they have might have migrated to some cold conditions, may have gone inside Antarctica. So whatever you see, the stations, etc., mostly in the coastal region. Okay.
Thank you, sir. It's very interesting indeed. And sir, is there any significance of these names, Bharati Station and the other one? Is there any
Mithri.
You
Mithri?
just
Sorry,
Mithri. You just
and
give some
Bharati.
name.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
you said Bharat is Bharat.
okay.
So it comes from there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
The first station name was Dakshin Gangotri. So
Okay.
it is like this. The second station, Mithri. Mithri is getting older, so we are thinking to replace that station. And third station is Bharati Station.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, anyone else? If you have any query, any comment, please ask. Okay, I think no further questions there. Thank you once again. Thank you for your wonderful lecture. And
Thank you.
We're almost. Now, I'd like to request Dr. Bidyarathan Tikeder, Assistant Professor, Department of Sociology, and the convener of Eco Club, for delivering his vote of thanks. Dr. Tikeder, please.
অনিমেষ শোনা যাচ্ছে?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I can hear you.
থ্যাংক ইউ প্রফেসর অনিমেষ স্যারকে আজকের এই আর্থ ডে উপলক্ষে আমাকে ধন্যবাদ এবং কৃতজ্ঞতা জ্ঞাপনের দায়িত্ব দেওয়ার জন্য। উপস্থিত সকলকে জানাই শুভ সন্ধ্যা। কেকেদাস কলেজের আইকিউসি, লিটারেরি সোসাইটি এবং ইকো ক্লাবের সম্মিলিত উদ্যোগে আর্থ ডে উপলক্ষে আয়োজিত এই অনুষ্ঠানে উপস্থিত সকলকে জানাই আন্তরিক ধন্যবাদ ও অভিনন্দন। আমার আন্তরিক কৃতজ্ঞতা ও ধন্যবাদ জানাই আজকের বক্তা ডক্টর প্রবীর ঘোষ দস্তিদার স্যারকে। স্যার, আপনার তথ্য এবং বক্তৃতা আমাদের সত্যি অত্যন্ত সমৃদ্ধ করেছে। ভবিষ্যতে এই তথ্য আমাদের কাজে লাগবে আশা করি। স্যার, আপনাকে জানাচ্ছি আমার অভিনন্দন এবং প্রণাম। ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি আমাদের অধ্যক্ষ ডক্টর রামকৃষ্ণ প্রসাদ চক্রবর্তী মহাশয়কে, যিনি সর্বদা সকল কাজে আমাদের এই ধরনের প্রোগ্রাম সফলতা এনে দেওয়ার ক্ষেত্রে সবসময় উনি উৎসাহ এবং পরামর্শ দিয়ে থাকেন এবং ভবিষ্যতেও দেবেন। ধন্যবাদ জানাই এই কলেজের ইন্টারনাল কোয়ালিটি অ্যাসুরেন্স সেলের কোঅর্ডিনেটর ডক্টর নাসিমা মুন্সি ম্যামকে এই অনুষ্ঠানটি রূপায়ণে সব রকম সাহায্য করার জন্য। ধন্যবাদ জানাই আমাদের কলেজের অধ্যাপক এবং টিচার্স কাউন্সিলের সেক্রেটারি প্রফেসর সুকুমার সাধুকা স্যারকে এই অনুষ্ঠানে সুষ্ঠুভাবে পরিচালনা করতে যারা সাহায্য করেছে তাদেরকে আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাই। ইকো ক্লাবের জয়েন্ট কনভেনার প্রফেসর আসগার আলী, লিটারেলি সোসাইটির জয়েন্ট কনভেনার অনুনয় স্যার এবং অনিমেষ স্যার, এবং আমাদের মৃদুল স্যারকে, যিনি সবসময় আমাদের সাহায্য করেছেন এবং যখনই আমরা ফোন করেছি তখনই আমাদের সাহায্য করেছেন। সর্বোপরি যে সকল ছাত্রছাত্রী এবং আমাদের জিবি মেম্বার এবং অধ্যাপক অধ্যাপিকা বৃন্দ যারা এই আলোচনায় উপস্থিত ছিলেন, যারা সক্রিয়ভাবে এই আলোচনায় অংশগ্রহণ করেছেন, তাদের সকলকে আমার পক্ষ থেকে এবং আজকে আমাদের এই অনুষ্ঠানের কমিটির পক্ষ থেকে সকলকে শুভেচ্ছা এবং ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি। আশা করি আমাদের রিসোর্স পার্সন ডক্টর প্রবীর ঘোষ দস্তিদার স্যারের বক্তৃতা এবং আলোচনা আমাদের উপকৃত করবে এবং করেছেন। পরিশেষে সকলকে আর একবার ধন্যবাদ জানিয়ে আজকের এই আর্থ ডে উপলক্ষে যে আলোচনা বা একটা অনুষ্ঠান তার সমাপ্তি ঘোষণা করছি। নমস্কার।
Namaskar.
So where do you end today? Thank you. Thank you everyone.